What is up, XRP community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. I want to talk about why the market is going crazy today. What the big hedge funds are doing might surprise you. A lot of good data points and all the breaking news from this hectic day in the markets that has been today. So let's hop right into it. People were speculating that there's going to be an emergency meeting with the Federal Reserve. This is all a rumor as of now, so I just wanted to clarify. You might have seen a headline, but there's nothing on the table right now. $2 trillion were wiped out in the stock market this morning. We've never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ. Take a listen.
History in the making.
Of what some would call history in the making.
Don't say that. We have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. Down 6% right from the get-go. This is heavy big tech. Here we go. Look at them go down. Microsoft is down $20. That's 5%. Alphabet, 5%. Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%. Apple, 9% down. Let's pull out Apple. This is interesting.
So 5%, 6% in crypto, that's not really a big swing. But for stocks, that is pretty substantial. Also, yesterday, Ethereum dumped 20% in a 1 hour period, which is pretty crazy. Bitcoin, over the course of a few hours, did about a 10% dip. But it's because of this right here. A trading firm called Jump Trading. They basically were leverage trading, so they had a lot of margin, and I think they got liquidated. And they sold 17,576 Ethereum across a broad variety of exchanges. Whenever you have that kind of sale on the spot market, it's going to obliterate the price. And so that's why you saw a 20% dump in just 1 hour. Really quick, guys, if you guys like talking about crypto, I have a free Telegram group. It's on the screen. It's also in the video description below. And if you need a spot to get XRP or other cryptos, I recommend Uphold. It's sleek, it's simple, it's secure. It's where I dollar cost and get my crypto. You can find a link to Uphold in the video description below. And this is a pretty crazy chart right here. This is the volatility S&P 500 index, the VIX. And it's its highest. I think it's only been this high 2 times previously in history. So you can see just a day or two ago, it was trading at a very low range, 18. The lower the number on the VIX, the less volatile. You see it open today, the market around 65, absolutely crazy. I think it's now back around like 48 or 52, but still a massive increase in such a short amount of time. Whenever this kind of stuff happens, trading gets halted. You see these trading platforms reportedly went down. I can't even log into my Charles Schwab account. TD Ameritrade, Vanguard, E-Trade, Fidelity. And it's been 1.5 hours since the market opened this morning. This was at 11 a.m. And he's reporting the same thing. The VIX is the 3rd highest it's ever been in history. And of course, retail traders are unable to buy or sell. All these exchanges are just shutting down. BlackRock, on the other hand, is buying tons of Bitcoin. Interesting. It surpassed 1.55 billion in trading volume for the first hour of trading today. So just think about that. The whole market's dumping. Everything is going down. And the largest hedge fund in the world makes their biggest spot Bitcoin purchase. Interesting. You have Europe's 4th largest hedge fund, Capella Management, and they just disclosed 500 million spot Bitcoin ETF holdings. You're starting to see this rising tide of hedge funds all coming abroad and joining this Bitcoin ETF narrative. BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, and MicroStrategy, despite this market crash, have not sold any Bitcoins. In here, this guy mapped the on-chain data, and you can actually see, let me make it a bit bigger, evidence on the blockchain, right? Men lie, women lie, the blockchain doesn't lie. That's because only retail panic sells. These big market makers, they're not looking for a short-term trade. They don't need the money. They have, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. And this should just be a testament to what's really going on. This is market manipulation. And if these guys aren't selling anything, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Another headline, Taiwan's stock market crashes to the worst day in 57 years. So it's not just Japan, it's not just the US. This is truly worldwide. But some people seem to have prior knowledge, or maybe that's just because they're the best investors in the world. But Warren Buffett, last week, I believe, sold half of his Apple stock that Berkshire Hathaway held. He holds a record $277 billion in cash and has been selling stocks like never before. Why do you guys think that is? Maybe he thinks there's going to be better buying opportunities. you can see the net purchases of Berkshire Hathaway, and it's the lowest it's been in years in terms of in the red, meaning they're selling tons of stuff. They're just stockpiling cash. You have big giants like JP Morgan doing this as well. It hits a record high of 277 billion, so all-time highs for Berkshire Hathaway, and it's not by a small metric. It's about 50% increase from the past 2 years, which was previous all-time highs. And another just general positive story for the crypto markets, Morgan Stanley, a big wealth management firm, can now pitch Bitcoin ETFs to the retail customers. It just goes to show the growing tide around this industry. And Donald Trump just actually did a live stream in the past hour with this big streamer, one of the biggest live streamers in the world called Aiden Ross, and he asked him about crypto. And so I just want to play a clip from that right here.
When you went to go speak in Nashville, you talked about crypto. You said that crypto can help with that. You mentioned that it's somewhat like gold. Do you think that, when you get back in office, you would still fully support crypto? And, I just saw that the U.S. government, ever since you spoke about it, they're selling crypto. They're selling it. So what would you do if you were in office with crypto?
It's something they shouldn't be doing because they should be trying to build it. So if we don't do it, China's doing it, other places are doing it, and they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a very modern currency. It's a very modern form. And I know a lot of very good people that are really into that world and into that market. They're smart, they're good people, and they think it's going to be very beneficial. And remember this, though, it's very important. It's like AI. Do you love it? Do you not like it? If we don't do it, China's going to do it, or other people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And we can't be left behind. And crypto is right in that sphere. And it is a form of currency.
So he definitely does seem a lot more pro-crypto than the previous administration, but it'll just be interesting to see what happens with Gary Gensler in the SEC. An update on XRP. This came out on August 1st, so just 4 days ago, that the XRP ledger is to tokenize U.S. Treasury bills, okay? They're collaborating with a team called Open Eden, and they're going to tokenize U.S. Treasury bills, representing another exciting example of how all types of real-world assets are being tokenized. We talk about this a lot on the channel, real-world asset tokenization, to drive utility and new opportunities. Institutions are increasingly looking at where to tokenize the real-world assets, and the arrival of T-bills on the XRP ledger powered by Open Eden reinforces this mission. Talking about rate hikes, they're expecting it to be September, December for the next rate hikes. But now you have people on the mainstream news, CNBC, talking about this crazy market sell-off, the biggest dip since the COVID event in March 2020. They're calling for an emergency rate cut. Take a listen.
We've talked about quite a bit. It was down in the low teens, up 26 points a day. It's been over 50 at one point, 49, 80. And earlier, Tom Lee said when we see the VIX peak and maybe come down a little, that could indicate some type of bottoming. Joining us now is Jeremy Siegel, Professor Emeritus of Finance at University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, Chief Economist at Wisdom Tree. Jeremy, I hate, you probably aren't happy to say I told you so either, given what we're witnessing. But you thought the Fed was staying at, once again, for the second time, staying at the party too long and too restrictive.
Absolutely. And, this may surprise people. I'm calling for 75 basis point emergency cut in the Fed funds rate with another 75 basis point cut indicated for next month at the September meeting. And that's minimum. The Fed funds rate right now should be somewhere between 3.5% and 4%. Let me give you very simple logic of my position here. At the June meeting, the Fed has said that the long run Fed funds rate, when inflation reached 2% and unemployment has come up to 4.2%, should be 2.8. That's the normal. 2.8 is the normal Fed funds rate. Well, on Friday, we blew across the employment number. We're at 4.3. That even argues for a lower one. Now, as far as inflation, we're at 2.5%. We've gone down 90% towards the target. on the inflation rate. We've overshot the target on the employment.
So Japan just had to do an emergency rate cut for the Japanese economy. Now they're calling for the Federal Reserve of the USA to do that as well. It'll be interesting to see the outcome of that event. But I do believe by September you'll see some rate cuts. If you guys don't already follow Patrick Bet David, he has a big podcast. He might be a billionaire, I'm not sure. But he talked about this last night. He said tomorrow's opening of the market will reveal a ton. And you're watching this video in the afternoon, the market's already open. So this might be an interesting perspective since this was beforehand and now you know what actually is happening. Rumors of an underground bunker in Jerusalem where senior leaders can remain for an extended period of time during war has been prepared by the Shin Bet security service and is fully operational. The Walla news site reported on Sunday, and this is amid this right here. I don't want to speak about it on YouTube, but people are claiming, reputable sources, that tonight something is going to happen in Israel. So that would definitely escalate things worldwide into a more serious type of conflict. The bunker, reportedly built almost 20 years ago, can sustain hits from a range of existing weaponry, has command and control capabilities, and is connected to the Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv. Japan's stock market, the Nikkei 225, is set to post its largest two-day drop in history, larger than the Black Monday crash of 1987. Bitcoin's down 22% last week, 10% just yesterday. ETH is down 31%, 21% just yesterday. Some trends are showing the increased purchase of military stocks. Guys, if you haven't seen the Lockheed Martin 6-month chart, it's up massive, and that's because people are speculating on a conflict. And when those conflicts happen, companies like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, these companies that have defense contracts, they do well. Talks about Federal Reserve considering lowering rates 0.5 point next month to stabilize the massive potential stock market loss in August. Talked about this earlier. Warren Buffett dumped $75 billion of Apple stocks. Has the most cash by far that Berkshire Hathaway's ever had. What does it all mean? Nothing. Stuff's about to hit the fan. Possible WW3 is imminent, and America may be forced to get involved. The overdue recession is finally here, and the ironic thing is a lot of people didn't notice this because it wasn't really in the news. Unless you were doing lots of research, you would have missed it in 2020. And you can fact check me on this. They redefined what a recession is, how many consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. They changed the definition of it all during COVID-19. So we've been in a recession for a while. It's just now starting to show the signs. If you guys made it to the end of the video, let me know your thoughts. Do you think the bull run's over? Are you bearish right now, long-term bullish? Do you not really care because you're not looking to sell short-term anyways? And thanks again for watching. Until next time.